G'day guys and gal. There is a saying in Warhammer 40k, only a Primarch can kill another Primarch, but is that actually true? Well, the evidence would suggest it's not. Primarchs are tough as hell, but a nuke to the face, an orbital strike, 100 bolt guns, or a roundhouse kick to the head by Chuck Norris would all slay a Primarch. However, a Primarch's near invulnerability is a lot less about their physical durability and more so about their destiny-bending demigod souls. If someone is destined for greatness, a random stray bolt shell isn't going to blow their brains out, or their ship isn't going to malfunction in the warp and explode. To put it simply, Primarchs literally have plot armor. However, despite Space Marines not really being able to kill Primarchs, they have tried many times and have actually gotten really close, and I think that's worth talking about. Before we get started, it's almost Christmas time, and I have some options for some pretty fucking awesome gifts to give to your loved ones or yourself. Not sponsored because you can't sponsor yourself, or maybe you can. First up, we have new slots open to get pre-painted major minis. This service is awesome because not only is the turnaround time fast, but it means instead of you buying a model, shipping it to a painter, paying them to paint it, and then paying to have it shipped back to you, all of which takes weeks or months, you pay shipping once and within 3 weeks the model is sent to your door, assembled, based, painted and varnished, with whatever scheme you want. It's a fantastic service. All the images here are demo paint jobs that went out to customers. It's also very cheap compared to normal. You could get a raw painted and based to battle standard for only $40 USD. That includes the cost of the model. If you want them to be parade standard, which is a more professional paint job, it's only $65. Or if you or your giftee want to paint it themselves, just buy a major mini the normal way. That's great gift idea number 1. Gift idea 2 is the 2025 lore artwork calendar. I've commissioned 12 amazing artworks, each depicting some of the most incredible moments from Warhammer 40k's lore, put into a high quality 300 GSM calendar. Moments like the Emperor vs the Void Dragon, or Angron holding up a Titan's foot to save Lorgar, Saint Celestine feeding a great unclean one a spicy hot meal, Guilliman caving in Lorgar's chest after getting half his face torn off, and many more. Physical calendars aren't just an out-of-date novelty item. I use mine to record important events or dates, whilst I use my online or Google Calendar for boring shit like meetings or appointments. This would make a fantastic gift. Calendars are only around until Monday the 18th of November. The last gift idea, which hasn't launched yet, is the Majorkill Christmas merch drop. This merch drop slaps hard. I'm obviously biased, but we do the merch different here and it shows. If you want to be notified when this drops next week, then just sign up on the website. There's no lock-in or contract or anything. It's just to be told when it releases, since it will be a limited drop as usual. So there's pretty solid Christmas options, I'd say. Today we'll go over every time a Space Marine has nearly killed a Primarch, detailing how the Primarch survived, as well as a few honorable mentions along the way. Also, shout out to Alex Christie for the amazing thumbnail art for this video. Full res version will be on my Patreon for free. Let's get into it. So kicking us off with what the thumbnail art for this video was, we have the time an Alpha Legion kill team ambushed Guilliman and nearly assassinated him. When people ask if the Alpha Legion is loyal or not, it gets complicated when they literally try to murder one of the most important loyalist Primarchs. Basically, Guilliman had been building Imperium Secundus and heard news of an old friend, Adonai Thiel, a sergeant he fought side by side on Calth, returning to his side. He welcomed Thiel and his men with open arms, granting them a private audience in his room. They were acting stiff and awkward. None of them removed their helmets. They were tense and even set up an obvious attack pattern. However, Guilliman just assumed that because of how fucked up the fighting on Calth was, these men were just a bit shell-shocked and untrusting of their surroundings, so he let the red flag slide. It was only at the last second, the tiniest moment before the trap was sprung, did G-Man realize his mistake and take action. The Ultramarine kill team was actually Alpha Legionnaires in disguise. They immediately began attacking, whilst also sealing the entrance into the door off. It was brutal. Guilliman was wearing his light ceremonial armor, not his proper war plate, so the bullets were breaking through. He was shot, stabbed, and overall fucked up pretty bad. The close quarters of the room, alongside the fact that Guilliman didn't have any cheesy Primarch powers, like how Magnus or Corvus did, that could have instantly won him the fight. One by one though, at great cost, he slew the traitors until only 2 remained. However, he was shot in the shoulder, with the concussive force hitting him in the head and temporarily blinding him. The Alpha Legionnaire posing as Thiel put his blade to Guilliman's neck. G-Man was like, "Before you kill me, tell me who you are." The Alpha Legionnaire, full of arrogance common to his legion, said, "I am Alfarius." G-Man was then like, "It only takes 3 seconds for a Primarch to recover from a concussion, you fucking retard." And he shot the fake Thiel point blank. He then stood up and shot the last attacker in the head. Guilliman then slumps to his knees, extremely injured and exhausted, as his men burst through the door and take their Primarch to the apothecary for healing. Now unfortunately, this would not be the only time Guilliman was almost killed by a Space Marine. During the war in Calth, G-Man confronts Corferon and engages in battle with him. However, core was turbocharged on warp juice at this point and come blast him with warp energy. As Guilliman is not a psychic Primarch, he just has to kind of eat it, and he is actually quite vulnerable to warp-based attacks, so once again he fell to his knees. In his arrogance, Corferon wanted to corrupt Guilliman to show him that no one is incorruptible, so he cuts G-Man's throat with a Chaos Knife, similar to the knife used to corrupt Horus. However, Guilliman didn't have the same weakness in his heart that Horus did, so he resisted the corruption and then caved Corferon's chest in, showing once again that if you have a Primarch at your mercy, don't fucking hesitate. When Corvus escaped Isfahan after losing most of his legion, he had to do a lot of heavy lifting in the subsequent battles. He was often leading from the front and doing the most challenging parts of the battles by himself. As such, he died like nearly 5 times, all against Space Marines. One time he fought a wordbearer who mutated into a demon beast that was almost as powerful as he was. Another time he got shot out of the sky and then gangbanged by some of Fabius Baal's new men, which at the time were just girthier Space Marines. Another time a traitor Raven Guard tried to blow him up. Another time he was in the thick of battle fighting a ton of traitors and then got hit with a missile. Corvus ate shit and he ate it hard, only surviving these situations due to last second saves from his warriors or just raw tenacity with a bit of luck thrown in. I like it as it shows why Primarchs can't just solo win battles. If they try, they put themselves in a lot of danger. Any Primarch will eat shit if they're hit with a missile. The juicy part is that none of these near-death experiences had anything to do with another Primarch. Now Vulkan can't die, but if he could, his first death would have been at the hands of Space Marines. During the Isfahan Dropsite massacre, Ferris was slain by Fulgrim, Corvus led a breakout and escaped, and Vulkan raged and charged the Iron Warrior's gunline. He was so mighty and furious that for a while it looked like he would not be stopped. However, Perturabo dropped a spicy nuke on him, and then a horde of traitors charged the wounded Vulkan and dogpiled him, shanking him until he finally died. He would go on to survive due to being an unkillable perpetual, but if it wasn't for his perpetual power, his death literally would have been from 1,000 stab wounds by unnamed traitor Space Marines. The Lion didn't really have much issue when it came to killing Space Marines, even his own ones. However, if I got $1 for every time the Lion was nearly killed by a renegade psychic Dark Angel, I would have $2, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. The first was against Luthor, who got turbocharged by Chaos. Neither warrior wanted to kill the other, hence they both hesitated. In that hesitation, Luthor blasted the Lion with Chaos power, wounding him and allowing the Watchers in the Dark to take him and put him into a coma. The second time was recently, when Lord Seraphax, a fallen Dark Angel Psyker, tried to remove the Lion's soul from his body so that he could possess him, which would have killed the Lion in the process. It's unclear if it would have worked, as during the spell, the Loyalist fallen angels arrived and saved the Lion, but it was looking a bit dicey for a bit. Can't trust those fucking renegade Psyker Dark Angels. When Lorgar was trying to turn Angron into a demon prince, a number of World Eaters who didn't have the Butcher's Nail saw what was happening and tried to stop it. All remaining World Eater librarians combined forces and psychically attacked Lorgar, whilst the old Legion Master, a Dreadnought, attacked Lorgar's physical body. They were fucking up Lorgar pretty hard and may have even killed him if it wasn't for Angron ascending and then slaughtering his Legion Master and all remaining librarians. But it does show that a combined psychic and physical attack on a distracted Primarch is a pretty solid method to killing them. I won't be including the time Lorgar was shot by a Titan twice and then nearly stomped on, as that was a Titan crew, not a Space Marine, that nearly killed him. During the Siege of Terra, Jaghatai was a bit of a wild card. Whilst Dorn wanted to sit behind his wall and grind the enemy down, Jaghatai wanted to strike out and save the innocents of Terra. He did so, however got caught up in the Death Guard, with one of them stabbing Jaghatai with a Nergalite knife. His Primarch physiology could resist most of the poison, but it slowed him down and he began getting dogpiled by the Plague Marines. He would have died if Sanguinius didn't arrive to save him then and there. Fulgrim is the one Primarch on this list that 100% should not have been able to survive the time a Space Marine nearly killed him. He was shot in the fucking head with a high caliber needle sniper by the legendary Nakonai Shuriken. He got absolutely boomed in the dome, yet he more or less managed to walk it off. This was also pre-demonic ascension Fulgrim. You could also consider Rylanor blowing up a virus bomb in his face, which was one of the coolest moments in all of 40k lore, as another close call with death via a Space Marine. Yeah, sure he survived, and yeah, sure he's a demon so he can't really die, but I'm counting it. Let's actually count all demon Primarch banishments at the hands of Astartes, since a banishment is closer to death than nearly dying as a mortal. Angron had his sword broken and then his form banished during the First War for Armageddon by the Grey Knight Hyperion. Magnus got smacked with a Cornite axe, and then banished by the Grey Knights during one of the many sieges of Fenris. Mortarion had his heart cut out and branded by Kaldor Drago before he was banished. The traitor Primarchs have had their shares of L's from loyalist Space Marines. And finally, Rogel Dorn, who was last seen being dragged down by Black Legionnaires. However, his body was never recovered except for his hand, so it's unclear where he is at. Was that him being killed by Space Marines, or was it just another near-death experience? There are many other times Primarchs were nearly killed or actually killed by non-Primarchs, such as when Horus got shot by a knight and only survived because a bunch of demons body blocked it. However, that was a knight, not a Space Space Marine, so we're not going to count it. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel whilst getting someone a fucking great Christmas present, then pick up a pre-painted Major Mini, an unpainted Major Mini, a 2025 calendar, or just sign up to get first access to the Majorkill Christmas merch drop going live next week. Join the Discord for more memes and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.